Hey garden buddies, it's your girl Nisi back with another video, and today we're going to talk about something that's a little difficult, and that is food insecurity. Now, whether you live in an area where there's not a lot of grocery stores near you, or like me, you've lately been experiencing really high prices at the grocery store. Why are eggs $10? Don't panic, I've got you covered. We're going to talk about some easy things that you can grow in your backyard or on your deck or your balcony, or if that's not a space that you have available, maybe you're growing it right in your kitchen. Let's get into it. So, what is food insecurity? It's basically that you do not have access to enough food that you need, or you don't have access to quality food sufficient to keep you healthy. And that's an issue for a lot of us. We need to make sure that we're meeting the basic needs of us and for our family. As we've entered this new year, I've had a lot of friends who are ready to start a garden. Now, I'm not sure why they're wanting to start a garden. I'm not sure if it's because they're feeling the pain like me, or they're just tired of the options that are available to them, or maybe they are experiencing some food insecurity. The point is, you can make a change today that will improve your life and improve your health. I believe that gardening has been, for me, what has improved my mental health. I believe that I have never known such peace as the patience of waiting for that seedling to pop through the soil. I believe I've never known such joy as bringing in a harvest of things that I grew and cooking with my own herbs and vegetables and fruits. So I want to show you today some easy things that you can start. Let's do that. Now I'm going to be very specific here and focus on zone 7B because that is where I am. Again, if you are not in my zone, that does not mean that you cannot grow these things. That means that you might have to do a little more or a little less depending on where you are. The first thing I'm going to suggest that you do, go to the USDA website. I've got that posted right here behind me, so you should be able to see. You want to go to the USDA website and find out your hardiness zone. This is going to tell you what your frost dates are. For me, my last frost date is usually about April 15th. That means I shouldn't have any hard freezing frost that could destroy my vegetables after that date. And that's what you want to know. The lower the number, the colder. The higher the number, obviously, then the warmer. Right off the bat, let's rip off the Band-Aid. I'm talking about quick wins here. So no, you most likely are not going to be growing an avocado this summer. Is it possible to grow an avocado in your home? It actually is. But is that what I'm going to be focusing on? Absolutely not. Calm down. What we're going to talk about is like the easy quick wins. Let's talk about tomatoes. Let's talk about Let's talk about tomatoes. Let's talk about peppers, both sweet and spicy, strawberries, oregano, a lot of your herbs like basil and sage. You can actually grow these things in your house, and depending on where you are, they're perennial. Here in 7B, you'll know that mint, of course, sage, thyme, these things are perennial and will return for you every year. That is what perennial means. Annual means that they grow only once per year. And if you've been watching my video, you're like, this is a little rudimentary, Denise. It might be, but if you've never seen a video before, we're about to get into some learning, okay? Tomatoes are a no-brainer. Wherever you are, if you've ever grown anything, a lot of times you've started with tomatoes. I usually start my tomatoes from seed. I get my tomato seeds from David's Seed Company because I love these little gold tomatoes. I know that they're a hybrid. I am in love with them. Whether you go to a big box store like Lowe's or Home Depot, or you either order your seeds online or buy them right there in store, you can grow tomatoes very easily. This is one of the easier crops for us. They're one of the most important crops that we actually get from Mexico. And if you've had those tomatoes from the grocery store from Mexico, no shade to Mexico. Never shade to Mexico. I'm from Texas. But what I would say is you definitely taste the difference in a tomato that has been grown in Mexico, and they picked it when it was not ripe and it had to ripen, and then they got it on your shelf. That tastes a lot different than going outside into your garden, picking a tomato and popping it into your mouth. Okay, yes, I do rinse mine first, but I had to say, you know what I'm saying, right? Okay. So those are a no-brainer, easy crop, yes to tomato. Peppers, bell pepper, jalapeno peppers, poblano peppers. You can grow peppers at your house very easily. So if you've ever opened your pepper and you see those seeds inside, those are savable. I am going to encourage you all to save your seeds. Same with your tomatoes. You see all the little seeds in there? You can pull those out. You can dry them. You can regrow these things. Once you have them the one time, you shouldn't have to keep buying your seeds every year. So that's my plug about seeds. Peppers thrive here in zone 7B, and they come in so many varieties, and they grow very easily here. They're actually a cool weather crop, so not cold weather crop, but cool. They like the springtime. When it gets really, really hot, you'll see your peppers will start to struggle. Your bell peppers will start to struggle. The spicy peppers, baby, they like it hot. So you're going to be able to grow all of those things. I encourage you to either start from seed, or you can buy the small plants, again, at the box stores. Do you like fresh cucumbers? Because if you do, you can grow cucumbers. Now you will need a trellis. And when I'm talking about a trellis, they're going to need something to vine on, because cucumbers are a vine. They're going to try to climb up, and eventually they will hang down, and you will have all of these beautiful cucumbers. Last year, I was finding cucumbers because the vines were just growing everywhere on my deck. And it was exciting. The little bees come by and they pollinate. The cucumber will produce two flowers. One is going to be a female flower, one is going to be the male flower. The male flower, a little bee needs to come and dance on your male flower, and then it needs to go and dance on your female flower so that you have cucumbers. You can actually pollinate the cucumbers yourself. I'm happy to show you that. I believe I might even actually have a video, but if I don't, we can always get into that later. But cucumbers are definitely an option for you in ground, in containers, in raised beds. You can grow cucumbers, but you will need to give them something that they can climb and vine on. Now, I know strawberries and raspberries are a favorite for a lot of us. I do not grow raspberries. I actually like blackberries, so I do have a blackberry bush, two of them actually, in containers. So what I want you to understand, for my new gardeners especially, containers are available to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Niecy, I don't have no money for all of this. What are you talking about? You're talking about raised beds. You're talking about growing in ground and all this soil and stuff. You don't have to spend that much. Again, if all of this sounds expensive and you're like, oh, I can't go out and buy a planter. I can't go out and put a raised bed. I don't have space for that. You know what you have? Milk cartons, the plastic trays that you might have gotten food in. You might even have the water container. I actually buy distilled water. It comes in a container like this. Do you know what you can do with this? Cut this top part off and poke some holes in the bottom here. You have another container. This does not have to be an expensive undertaking. You can start where you are and grow these things. When you're thinking about the space that you're going to grow in, I grow in containers because I have a small space available to me. If you have space to either grow them in ground, or maybe you have a raised bed, or you're growing in containers like me, I've been very successful. Next, I want to get into the herbs. Now, a lot of herbs are imported, and herbs can be very expensive. If you've ever gone to the store and you bought your spices, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Herbs are not cheap. Your spices are not cheap. Did you know that paprika is just a dried red bell pepper that's been ground? Did you know that? How do you feel about making your own paprika? So right? A lot of things like cilantro and oregano and basil, one of my favorites, you can actually grow those things at home. Basil loves the warm weather and the seeds are tiny, tiny, tiny. So once it gets warm outside, spread those seeds into your container, small covering of the soil. They're just going to sprout and they're going to be profuse. Trust me, fresh herbs will take your dishes, whatever you're cooking, to the next level. Chef's kiss, grow herbs. If you can put a raised bed situation together, by all means do it. I have seen the raised bed containers though at Aldi, at Lidl. You can do this. You don't have to spend a lot of money. It doesn't have to be a huge undertaking to get started. One other thing that I will caution you regarding starting new and how much you're going to spend, if you're going to one of the box stores and you're buying the plants, know that part of the cost that you're paying is the time that someone took to plant that seed and nurture it to a seedling. And then from there, you're going to grow it. But you do not have to start there. You can start from seeds yourself, which is infinitely less expensive than starting with an actual plant. In addition to the fruits and vegetables, I've talked to you about seeds, I've talked to you about plants, and I've talked to you about containers. Let's talk about the other things that you need. A sunny location. If you're going to be gardening, you need a location that it gets at least 6 hours of sun. Now, if you are in your house and you do not have access to that 6 hours of sun, let's say you don't have a balcony, you're 100% inside, you can get close to a sunny window that can give you 6 hours of sunlight. Fantastic. If you cannot, we can replicate it. Let's talk about grow lights. I've got several grow lights in my home. My favorite is my Sansi light that I use for my indoor plants. And I have another that I got from Amazon. The cheapest way I would say to go if you're going to get a grow light would be to just walk into your box store or hardware store and get a grow light. You're looking for something that gets at least 6,000 to 8,000 lumens because we're replicating sunlight. And that's why it's so important that we have so much. If you're growing in your home, here's the thing. Your home is considered a tropical environment, right? So all of the plants that we have in our homes, I've talked a lot about, these are not really house plants. They're outdoor plants. They're tropical plants, actually, and they can live in our home because our homes are a tropical environment. We usually keep our home somewhere between 68 and 75 degrees year round because that's what's comfortable for us. That's also what's comfortable for a tropical plant. So when you think about growing things indoors, you're not going to have the same restrictions on when to plant and when to grow as those of us who are growing outdoors. You're going to have a much warmer environment, but you're still going to need to be mindful about providing light for your plants. They need to have at least 6 hours of sunlight per day. And if you're in your home, you are replicating that with a grow light. Watering. Whether you're growing your food indoors or outdoors, you're going to need to be on a watering schedule. Seedlings are going to need more water than fully grown plants. Each of your seed packets, when you buy them, they're going to have some instructions on the back. If you buy a plant ready-made at the store, it's probably not going to have any instructions. This is where Google is your friend. If you were able to find me on YouTube, I bet that you are able to find these instructions online as well. But I am always happy to help, so feel free to use me as a resource. Come back and ask me questions. Now, let's focus on the mental health benefits because you knew I was going to have to bring this up. For me, gardening is not all about food. I love being able to feed myself with things that I actually grew in my yard. I felt like a superhero last year when I pulled my first watermelon off the vine, and it was delicious. So what I would say to you is lean into the gardening. We have a lot going on right now, and it can feel chaotic. It can feel very stressful. I lean into my gardening for peace. I design my garden in a way that is beautiful to me, but that allows me to rest. There's water in my garden. There's fire in my garden. I'm surrounded by greenery and beautiful things. And you have never seen anything so beautiful as the show of colors that God puts on for you. You don't get that out of your coloring book. So I would say definitely lean into gardening, because watering your plants, remember, water your plants, water yourself. Prune your plants. I say this a lot. Your plants require pruning to thrive, just as we require pruning to thrive. So for me, when I garden, it mirrors a lot of what I know to be true for my own life. And so I suggest to you that you do those same things, that you embrace that there is chaos around us and find some peace for yourself. And I am making the suggestion to you for gardening as a peaceful endeavor. Can you turn up in your garden? I wouldn't say you can't. When you walk through those rows, and you see all your seedlings come up, okay, might be a little dance. But more than anything, I want you to embrace that this is a chance for you to just de-stress, let go. So there you have it. This is my intro to gardening for you if you haven't done it before, and how you can overcome food insecurity however you may be experiencing it. I hope that you liked this video. If you found any value in what I've shared with you at all, I hope that you will come back. Please subscribe to my channel. Click the bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads, and I'll see you next time.